Welcome to In the Kitchen with the Dietitian. I'm your host, Amanda Tovar, registered dietitian nutritionist and certified diabetes clinical education specialist. First of all, I want to start off by wishing you a happy Hispanic Heritage Month. This entire month, we're going to be celebrating in the kitchen through food, our beautiful Hispanic culture, and all the delicious dishes that come along with that, and they're going to have a healthy twist. So today, what we're cooking is Migas a la Mexicana, in honor of 16 de Septiembre, that is on Friday this week, and you're bringing that red, white, and green from the Mexican flag into the kitchen in a very healthy way in the form of tomatoes, any kind of chile that you like jalapeno, and onions. So let's get started. First of all, you want to always gather your ingredients. And I have here a heart-healthy oil. This is canola oil, and you want to limit the amount that you use when you're making the migas. Because oftentimes what happens, you'll notice at restaurants, is that they'll put a whole lot of oil and it makes things very greasy. Well, 1 tablespoon of oil contains 120 calories. So if you're watching your waistline, those calories can add up very quickly and work against you. So be very mindful of the portion as you're frying up the tortillas in the pan. So get that heart-healthy oil and watch the amount. Now, when you're thinking about tortillas to use for migas, it's always traditional and also healthiest to use the corn tortillas. Why is that? Well, flour tortillas are packed with lard, and that lard is full of saturated fat that can raise your cholesterol. So when you use the corn tortillas, they're typically made with just the corn masa and water, and that's it. So very, very heart healthy. And then of course, you need the a la Mexicana part of the migas, which is going to include the tomato, onion, and chile of your choice. Now, I know it's wonderful to be able to stand in the kitchen and have your fresh ingredients and chop them all up, but I'm a busy mom and I work full time, so I always look for ways to make it more convenient and faster so that we still get our vegetables and fruits in. And one of the ways you can do that is by picking up pre-made pico de gallo at the grocery store. Or if you all eat out and you get a botana or a parrillada, you can always save that extra pico de gallo and use it the next morning instead of throwing it away to make your migas a la Mexicana. Now finally, of course, the star of the show are your eggs. And whenever you can choose the eggs with omega-3s, you're adding extra anti-inflammatory fats that are heart healthy to your diet. And this is good for the whole family. So once you have all of this, all you need to think about is, well, how many people are you cooking for? And so in this case, today I'm gonna prepare a portion for 1, so that if you live alone, you can see what that looks like. Now, when you're cooking for 1, you're going to get 1 corn tortilla and add 1 extra. Now, if you're cooking for a family of 4, you're gonna get 4 corn tortillas and add an extra. If you're cooking for 6, you'll get 6 tortillas and add an extra. So you can see whatever amount of people that you're cooking for, you're just gonna add an extra. Why is this important? Portion control is so critical. Anytime that someone has diabetes, the more tortillas they eat, the higher their sugar is gonna go. Why is that? Because tortillas contain carbohydrates. So on average, a tortilla this size has about 10 grams of carbs. So that's going to be about 2 packets of sugar by the time that breaks down in the body. So the more you eat, add it up, it really can make an impact. So portion control with the tortillas. Remember, whatever number of family members you're cooking for, just add 1 extra and that's the amount of tortillas you're going to use. Now you can get the kids involved in the kitchen, and this is great to get them involved early so that they learn to cook, so they feel confident in the kitchen, so that once they're on their own, they know how to prepare their own food. And they can use a butter knife. It's totally fine. So if you'll watch me here, I'm just gonna cut the tortilla in little strips. And this is sufficient. You don't need a sharp knife to do this. Now I'll come back and I'm going to cut it into small little squares here as much as I possibly can. And there you have the tortilla. So this is ready to fry. Now again, we're watching the portion of the oil because this is where the calories really add up. And if you think about it, If you need 1,200 calories a day and you put a tablespoon of oil to fry up your tortilla, that's 120 calories, so that's 10% of your caloric needs already just in the oil, and this doesn't fill you up. So watch the portion. So we're gonna use about a tablespoon of oil, and I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in the pan. And I'm gonna turn our burner on here. So it can start heating up. So there's that oil. I'm gonna give it just a moment, because with the gas stove, it heats up really quickly, and then we'll throw the tortilla on there. Okay. So now, while that's starting to heat up, we're gonna crack the eggs. Now again, with the eggs, portion control is important. Yes, they're a very healthy protein, especially with the omega-3 anti-inflammatory fats. However, you still want to watch the amount that you're eating due to the calories. So, whatever number of people you're cooking for, you'll do that number of eggs and add an extra one, just to give it that little bit of extra in case anyone has an extra hearty appetite that day and wants to go for seconds. So, since I'm cooking for one, again, I'm gonna have 2 eggs here that we're gonna cook up. And I'm gonna go ahead and whisk these. And there you are. So those are all ready. Now, in the meantime, you can hear the tortillas already starting to sizzle. So they look and already smell beautiful. And you just wanna kind of move them around in the pan so that they can get nice and toasted. Now, because you're not using a whole lot of oil, it's really important to stir them so they can get evenly coated, just with enough oil, and then that will allow them to sufficiently brown. Another reason I chose canola oil is it's one of the heart-healthy oils that's the lowest in saturated fat, so again, helps promote healthy cholesterol and supports a healthy heart. But in addition to that, you can heat it to higher temperatures, so it has a higher smoke point. So this is really helpful when you're cooking over the stove. So those are looking great. Now let's talk a little bit about the pico de gallo. Again, save yourself some time if you're really busy and get that pre-prepared pico de gallo either from the store or if you have leftover from the restaurant. That's fantastic. I would rather you do that and get your vegetables in with all those cancer-fighting properties of the antioxidants that they contain and also the fiber for your good health than to just make the migas with the corn tortillas and the eggs, because you're missing out on so much wonderful nutrition. So the tomatoes, for example, they contain lycopene, which is a very powerful antioxidant that's cancer fighting. And the onions contain quercetin, which is a very powerful antioxidant that promotes heart health. Then, of course, you have the jalapeno in there, and the cilantro, and herbs always have a whole lot of antibacterial and antimicrobial properties, which promotes good health, especially as we're entering into the fall. And all these viruses are starting to emerge. So, our tortillas are looking good. I hope that you can see here just the little golden bits, the brown bits on the tortillas. This is looking fantastic. That's how you want it. That's how you know that they're ready. Just toast them really nicely like that. That brings out all that good corn flavor. And what you're going to do is add some pico de gallo. Now for each person that you're cooking for, you want to add at least half a cup. Why is that? Because on average, most people need about 2.5 cups of vegetables a day. If you get half a cup of vegetables in at breakfast, that already knocks out part of what your daily needs are. So let's go ahead and add some in. I'm gonna add about half a cup to this. And you can hear that delicious sizzle. So now we're going to stir it up really well, just to cook those vegetables. honestly don't need very much. I have the heat on medium right now, and so really a minute is sufficient. So look at that beautiful array of colors. And now we're going to add in the eggs. So we'll just pour them over the top and get all of that nutritious goodness in there, especially since we know that these eggs contain omega-3s. And once you notice that the edges begin to set, that's when you want to start moving the egg around. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat off because they're ready. Wasn't that so quick? And what I'm going to do is plate it here so you can see it. This is such a generous portion. And believe it or not, this is a good portion for one person. And what makes it so hearty and filling is all that fiber from the vegetables. So we have the eggs here. And remember, after you handle raw eggs, to wash your hands. So I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. I'll let you take a look at those migas. And here you have protein from the eggs, you have healthy carbs from the tortillas, you have vegetables from the pico de gallo, and healthy fat from the canola oil. So really, if you wanted to add something, what you can add is anything from the fruit group. So in this case, I have a fresh orange here. And I'm just gonna slice that up. You can add any fresh fruit that you like. If you're wanting to stay within the red, white, and green theme, you can have watermelon slices or watermelon cubed on the side. And then you can add milk or yogurt. So if you prefer making a smoothie, you can have some low-fat milk or plant-based milk like almond milk blended with a banana and some frozen fruit. And that's great. So thank you so much for joining me today on In the Kitchen with the Dietitian. I hope you had fun. I hope that you'll prepare this at home. Please post in the comments below a photo if you do prepare your own migas, or if you have any questions or just any comments, please leave them below. And make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you can get updates as I am cooking throughout Hispanic Heritage Month. I would love to have you join me for the entire month. And thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you soon.